Here are the top stories of the news. Airline operators warn aviation unions against disrupting operations over allegations of unremitted ticket service charges. President Tinubu to receive Executive National Policing Bill for review on September 3. On the foreign scene, status of U.S.-Iran talks uncertain as ships struck in Strait of Hormuz. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12, Western Spring Television. My name is Olufemi Alube. The Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, has warned aviation unions against disrupting flight operations over allegations of unremitted ticket service charges, TSC, owed out to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authorities, NCAA. The development followed a fresh 7-day ultimatum issued by Air Transport Services, Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, and the National Union of Air Transport Employees, directing airline operators to remit outstanding 5% service charges owed to agencies. The union has said the continued non-remittance of the charges has deprived aviation agencies of critical funding needed to maintain the safety of the country's airspace while also affecting the welfare of workers. However, in a stern kickback issued on Monday, the AON noted that it had no transactional relationship with the unions on the matter. It argued that the unions have been misinformed, warning that disruption of operations would impose hardship on travelers. The association threatened sanctions against the unions if they went ahead and carried out their planned disruptions. Security matters. The Sokoto State Police Command has confirmed a deadly attack by Lakurawa militants on Goroko community in Kebbi local government area of the state, which left a police officer and 2 civilians dead, with several others injured. The attack, which occurred on Monday, also saw the assailants set ablaze 2 security vehicles belonging to the Nigerian Police Force and the Sokoto State Community Guard Corps. Confirming the incident this morning, the command spokesman Ahmed Rufai said the command received a distress call and swiftly deployed operatives to the community, where they engaged the attackers in a gun battle and successfully repelled them. Rufai confirmed that 1 police officer was killed in the line of duty, while 2 security vehicles were destroyed during the attack. He added that the command had intensified security operations in the area and reaffirmed its commitment to protecting lives and property. Residents said the heavily armed attackers stormed the community and opened fire indiscriminately on security personnel and villagers, forcing many people to flee for safety. In the meantime, the presidency has revealed that President Bola Tinubu will receive the Executive National Policing Bill for review on September 3. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the Chairman of the Presidential Working Committee on the National Policing Bill made the disclosure while briefing State House correspondents after convening a meeting of the group at the Aso Rock Villa. During the briefing, Gbajabiamila disclosed that the approved work program was a 7-week milestone-driven exercise running from July 27 to September 14. He explains that the final package would comprise schedules, an explanatory memorandum, a legal audit, and consequential amendments readiness framework, a fiscal and complementation note, a validation report, a RICS register, and a controlled digital archive. The former Speaker of the House of Representatives further distinguished between the constitutional amendment already passed by both chambers of the National Assembly and the operational legislation his group had been talks with producing. On the guiding philosophy of the reform, Gbajabiamila argued that the state policing must not become an instrument of political control.
The approved work program is a 7-week milestone-driven exercise running from the 27th of July to 14th of September 2026. Administrative and technical preparations have been underway, and today's meeting formally mobilizes the next stage. The resulting executive bill package is scheduled for presentation to the President on the 3rd of September. Subject to his approval, a national consultation on the completed draft will follow. But I think that we have tweaked that so the national consultation will come before the President's final approval. After which the text and supporting materials will be revised and prepared for formal transmission to the National Assembly. Public participation is an integral part of this process. To that end, we are announcing an open call for memoranda, position papers, and practical proposals from Nigerians at home and abroad. Professional bodies, civil society, security institutions, state and local actors, experts, and other stakeholders to inform and improve the legislative proposals and other deliverables that the working group.
And to politics now. At 39 years old, the governorship candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, or Olajide Esan, is one of the youngest contenders in the race for the August 15 Osun State governorship election. He spoke in an interview with Western Spring Television News on his aspiration and proposed programs. Here is a report.
Presenting himself as a fresh alternative to Osun State's traditional political establishment, governorship candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Olajide Esan, has consistently described his candidacy as one that will challenge the dominance of the major political parties that have shaped the state's political landscape over the years. According to the AAC standard bearer, his decision to seek the state's highest office was motivated by what he described as the failure of successive administrations to address the fundamental challenges confronting the people. He argued that the existing political class has continued to recycle the same ideas and individuals while leaving many residents trapped in poverty, unemployment, and poor infrastructure.
PDP and APC play important role in destroying this country. And how would those people or the representative of those people be coming out that they are coming to fix Nigeria? The Nigeria they have not been able to fix since 1999. And it's sad time we stop deceiving ourselves as a society. If this political party have something reasonable and tangible to offer, we would have seen it in our society. You know, just think about the growing population of jobless youth, the crime in the society and other, and see the desperation of these political parties attacking themselves, killing themselves. Does that tell you that they actually want to serve you? No, it's about their interest. Even when you see them switching from one party to another, is it because of you? No, it's because of their own interest, their own target.
Mr. Esan maintained that his campaign is anchored on people-centered governance, youth inclusion, and institutional reforms. According to him, his aspiration represents a generational shift aimed at offering Osun residents a credible alternative founded on accountability, transparency, and sustainable development. The AAC candidate expressed confidence that the forthcoming governorship election presents an opportunity for the people of Osun to break away from the traditional political order and embrace what he described as a movement committed to rebuilding the states through innovative policies and inclusive leadership. Mr. Esan alleged that the Accord Party, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and the All Progressives Congress, APC, represent the same political ideology that has contributed to the socio-economic challenges confronting both Osun State and Nigeria. He argued that the nation's political elites have continued to weaponize poverty and ignorance as tools for manipulating citizens, particularly young people, and maintaining their hold on political power.
Leadership is not a rocket science, and it doesn't have to do with how fat your bank account is or how much gray hairs you've grown. It has to do with the intellectual capacity, the mental agility to know what the people's needs are and to provide workable solutions. So that is what I think. And the thing is that, you know, because of the fact that they have weaponized poverty and the issue of joblessness, how many youth can you even see contesting today? Because they have weaponized poverty against them. So that is why it's so hard for a lot of youth to take this leadership position. Not because they don't have ideas, but they don't have money to even get a form or, to secure a form.
The AAC governorship candidates identified what he described as the major challenges facing Osun State, to include the growing number of unemployed and uneducated youth, the absence of meaningful economic reforms, and the execution of infrastructure projects that, in his view, offer little or no economic value to the people. He blamed successive administrations for failing to implement policies capable of creating sustainable economic growth, saying the state's development has been hampered by a lack of visionary leadership and people-centered governance. Outlining his administration's proposed programs, Mr. Esson said an AAC-led government would introduce an Osun childcare program designed to provide an investment account for every child born in the state. He added that his administration will prioritize youth employment, strengthen security across the state, establish talent acquisition and skills development programs, introduce an insurance scheme for residents, and deliver quality infrastructure capable of stimulating economic growth and improving living standards.
This current system is unsustainable, and if it can work, we would have seen it in our society. Things are getting worse every day. So that is why I'm taking the leadership role. And what is more important to us is systemic change that has to do with giving governance back to the people. We want to make governance and leadership participatory for our people so that every member of our society can have direct involvement in the leadership of our society. That is what we are trying to do. At least that has never happened in this country, and that is what we are prioritizing, to give governance back to the people. We have different plans for our people, and to be able to put these structures in place, we have what we call Osun Resident Database. This database will give us the opportunity to know to have the demographic information, to know what is good for the old, what is good for the young, the numbers, old and young and all that. So, and this will give us the opportunity to put right plans in place for our people.
The AAC governorship candidates urged residents of Osun State to reject what he described as years of political conditioning and begin to see themselves as agents of change. Mr. Esson called on eligible voters to embrace a new political direction by supporting candidates with clear developmental agendas rather than those driven by established political structures.
In another development, Vice President Kashim Shettima said President Bola Tinubu's government deserves commendation for reforms in key sectors, attributing the rise in foreign reserves to the moves. Shettima spoke on Monday at the Investment Delta Economic and Investment Summit in Asaba, hailing Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo for backing the reforms of the Tinubu administration. It disclosed that when they took over government, the nation was experiencing capital flight and capital scarcity. But now the nation is experiencing capital inflows, which has reflected in the increase of the nation's foreign reserves from $3 billion to about $52 billion. Addressing the gathering in the Delta State capital, which drew political leaders, captains of industries, and other dignitaries, the vice president said the rise in investment summit is a sign of healthy competition among states. According to him, with more money coming to states, subnationals have a stronger foundation. In his address, host Governor Sharif Borevwori of Delta State said his government had set aside $100 million as viability gap funding to direct new investments in the state.
Mr. Soludo, you have done a lot of things for the federal government, especially in informing Nigerians where we are coming from reserves of $3 billion. When we were experiencing capital plight and capital scarcity, now we are experiencing capital inflows, so that our foreign reserves has gone up to over $52 billion and counting in a turbulent world, mind you. I think the president deserves commendation and not condemnation.
You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break.